Hey, posting we're open to justice impacted candidates is not a strategy. It's a sentence. And a sentence is not a pipeline. Let's talk about it. Most companies add a line to a careers page or a sentence gets dropped into the job description. And maybe there's a one-time hiring partnership opportunity and then nothing, crickets, radio silence. Nothing really changes because what was built, it wasn't a pipeline. Instead, we could frame it more like an invitation with no infrastructure behind it. So how can we really define success? So let's reframe this a little bit, right? Belief versus systems. Fair chance hiring is not a belief statement, right? In my experience, it's an operating system. If you're asking, well, how do I build a fair chance hiring pipeline? The answer isn't in you taking a performative posture to make yourself look good. We're talking about real change, real transformation, and that only happens by design. The problem that I've been seeing is that most hiring systems are built to select people who already have access to technology, stable work history, clean resumes, references, transportation, documentation, flexible time. These are things that allow people to move ahead of the line, almost leapfrog people who have fallen on hard times or tougher circumstances, right? Or just as impacted. So when someone doesn't match that template, the system reads you or flags you as a risk. And that's not right because how do you know that person isn't fully capable? So let's frame it differently. This isn't about lowering standards at all. This pipeline is actually about building a clear path and setting a new standard since this is a merit-based economy, right? Let's talk about what the pipeline really requires. Number one, define the jobs by skills, not by proxies. Many job descriptions rely on degree requirements, arbitrary years of experience. They want to see brand name company pedigrees. They got vague cultural fit language and automatic background filters. But let's ask a better question. Like, what does success actually require in the first 90 days of hiring someone? In my mind, some of the things that pop up is like, can they troubleshoot? Can they clearly communicate? Do they show up authentic and consistently? Can they learn a tool? Can they work the ticket queue? What about handle customers? How's their emotional intelligence, right? How well do they document their work? And that's what happened when you define real skills, because you can build training and evaluation around reality and not just on assumptions. Let's talk about number two, build an onboarding process that does not punish instability. Returning citizens or those who have been impacted by the justice system are trying to rebuild their lives. They're trying to get consistent transportation, housing, trying to be present for their children, trying to show up for themselves in their mental health, their physical health, trying to get their documentation together. Your hiring process needs 5 interviews, unpaid take-home work, and fast turnaround schedules that don't allow for flexibility, especially if someone is a parent. So to me, that's not screening for talent. You're looking for stability. You're not really looking for competencies and capability. And what we've adapted here at Emergent Works is fewer interview rounds, transparent next steps and pay, salaries, right? Paid work samples, and clear and proactive communication so that we don't ghost people or leave them in the wind. And it's not because we're trying to show up and be nice. I believe in kindness, but it's because we're trying to measure capability. Let's get to number 3. Evaluate the growth slope, not their polish. Let's name a few traditional hiring rewards, right? So it shows up like confidence, vocabulary, your vernacular changes. But I want to advocate for the people that I love. Justice impacted candidates also bring resilience, pattern recognition, leadership under pressure, and complex systems navigation. If they can survive that trauma, there's nothing that they can't do. When we're looking at professional packaging, our evaluations must reveal the work. It must reveal their skills and not just this performance. We could do that around structured interviews, consistent scoreboards, practice simulations, and interviewer training. And we could train interviewers to signal not for style, but for competency, capability, and skill. And lastly, number 4, build retention as an infrastructure, not just an onboarding. How do you know if the pipeline is successful, if people don't actually complete it or stay. This is where a lot of people fail because they hire someone and then we expect them to immediately be able to contribute at 100%, especially someone who hasn't been in corporate environments. We can't even prove that the pipeline is real unless people stay. So in my eyes, retention must be intentional, right? Looking like managers are training stability and awareness. They're mentors who are able to translate expectations clearly, and there are clear and open feedback loops. And early support is normalized because if it comes in too late, I've seen that people just fall through the cracks and they don't want to share anything anymore. And so let's talk about the difference. Performative fair chance hiring says this: we hired a few people, but a pipeline says we built a repeatable system that consistently converts capable candidates into long-term contributors. If you're looking for transformation, you agree with the latter. But if you're looking for performance, then you just added a sentence. Thank you for tuning in today. If this video resonated with you or you think it may resonate with someone within your network, please subscribe and share my YouTube channel, Build to Heal AR. I'm Armstead, the co-founder and executive director of Emerging Works, and also the project director of Crypto Harlem. Check out our websites and tune in for more.